Hello everyone, it's Justine. Today I am sharing 10 cards with one kit, and this is the kit called So Happy from Spellbinders 2022, and this is a really fun card. It's all about crafting and with an emphasis on sewing, since the title is So Happy, spelled S-E-W. I will have this card kit and any special materials or tools that I used to make any of my cards linked in the description below. Now, card kits are a beautiful thing, in my opinion. They are full of pieces that go together. So it makes it so easy to make cards of your own without worrying about things coordinating. I recommend them for people who are beginner card makers or seasoned card makers because they are a place to let your creative juices flow. You can make collage cards like this one, or you could make very polished cards using some of the stamps and dies. I especially love the pattern papers from the card kits and the stamp and die pieces because the stamps and dies are reusable even after you use all of the rest of the card kit up. You have a stamp set and a die set. You can use those over and over and over, and they are a little different to a sticker or a chipboard piece because they are reusable. Now, this card has a very heavy emphasis on sewing. There's pattern paper that has sewing machines, there's a chipboard frame with a sewing machine, and all sorts of other things that are all sewing related. So I put them all on one card, and I kind of created a focal area on the bottom where I had pieces coming out from behind and on top of my main area. I love sequins, and I know I'll be using them on many of my cards, so I just dumped them out on the side. The sequins are not part of this card kit, but they are remaining from another card kit from Spellbinders, so I thought, why not add a little sparkle? I loved how they have black pieces with gold on them. I think they look very nice with the pastel tones from this card kit. So I went ahead and added 2 black sticker sentiment strips and the black needle pack to make those kind of coordinate together. And I especially loved the little sewing machines. I thought that they looked very nice with the pattern paper that had sewing machines on them. It was really sweet. I could think that this card would go to someone who loves sewing, and it maybe would be like a birthday card or something geared towards friendship. There were so many little details like this needle and thimble, so I had to add all the fun things right onto the card. Again, these sequins go very well with this card kit, so why not add some sparkle? Speaking of sparkle, I'm going to pull in my Wink of Stella, and this is a clear one. So it's just clear liquid, and it has very fine glitter, almost a shimmer to it. It's hard to see that on camera, but in real life it is present, and it is very sparkly. Now this card, I wanted to challenge myself and use the yellow paper. I'm not the biggest fan of this tone of yellow, but I knew that there were some pieces that matched it in my card kit. And I thought, go out of your comfort zone and give it a try. And this pattern paper was perfect for this because it kind of mutes the yellow just a little bit, but still lets the yellow shine. I also tried to use up some of my scraps of my pattern paper by taking a circle punch and circle punching, or punching out. Circle punching is not a thing. Punching out with my circle punch some circles. And this was a good way to use up my pattern paper, and it was very fast. If you don't have a circle punch, you could use a circle die, or if you don't have a die or a punch, you could take maybe even like the glue bottle that you see here, put it on the paper, trace it with trace it with a pencil, cut it out by hand with the scissors. You don't need a lot of materials to be creative. I love using my Barely Art liquid glue for any liquid glue that I need really in crafting. I think that it is the best liquid glue that I've tried, so I continue to use it. It's perfect for paper and for embellishments like sequins. There's a look at my finished card. A perfect little thank you card for my pack. Now this card, I had to make a cute snail card because the snail is just adorable. It kind of doubles as a little needle holder. I don't know what the correct term for that is. I'm drawing a blank, but just so cute. So I'm layering some pattern paper here on the bottom just to create kind of like a little base for my collaged flowers and snail to rest on. I love how the pink and the green, blue and yellow kind of coordinate to make a rainbow effect, but not too in-your-face rainbow. I'm using my purple craft tape to hold everything into place. I will just say that sometimes craft tape can get a little sticky and it may rip the paper. So to not have that happen, you can use craft tape that you've already used, or you can put it on a t-shirt or something that you're wearing and kind of get some of the stick out. Spellbinders sells a product called The Best Tape Ever. That is a yellow tape, and I have yet to try it. I'm waiting until my purple tape is out, and then I will try The Best Tape Ever. And I cannot wait to see if it truly is the best tape ever. Time will tell. All right, now again, the snails are adorable. I had to add them on this card because I did not want to have them go in La La Land on my desk. So they made it on a card, and it almost reminds me of a Mother's Day card with a big and a little snail. I think this would be a really sweet card for any moms who are into sewing. I don't know. This is just what my brain was telling me. So that's what I went with. There's a mixture of a lot of stickers and die cut shapes. I keep wanting to call them ephemera pieces, but I guess they're not called that anymore, so I won't call them ephemera, even though my brain says they're ephemera. Now, this pattern paper I especially loved because it reminds me of the mat that I'm currently using right now on my desk, which is made, I think, for sewing or quilting. I don't know, but it's perfect because it protects my desk from all sorts of scratches and other things. But anyway, it's supposed to be for sewing, so it's going on this sewing card. Now, if you've never made clusters of flowers or clusters of die-cut shapes, I would recommend starting with kind of the centerpiece. So on this one, that would be my sewing box and my scissors, and then work your way out by going from big to small. So I have my big flowers in the middle, small on the outside, sequins on the way outside. And that's just kind of how my brain works when I am creating these clusters. Now for my die cut card, I used the die cut pack that came in the card kit to make this little hoop. So if I were to make this again, I would just say glue this part down before you put on the back part of your hoop. I was fortunate enough to be able to stick it behind before the glue dried. I need a little bit more glue, and then it stuck. I used my silver mirrored cardstock to glue down, or to make, I guess, to make in general my embroidery hoop, because I wanted it to have the sparkle and shine of a real embroidery hoop with a metal closure. I love the mirrored cardstock from Spellbinders. I believe right now they have gold, silver, red, and green. I think it would be really neat to see even more colors in the future, but we will see. Now I'm using my reverse tweezers to kind of map out where I want my needle to go and where I want the rest of my flowers to go without gluing it down. This just allows me to have a little bit more time to think about my placement. And since the rest of my pieces are small, going on the purple or green pieces, I am ready to glue down my needle and thread. I got a little finicky with it, but that's just sometimes how I am. I gently pressed it down and moved on to the next piece. I love how the dies from the kit can be used over and over, and you can create very different cards by changing the color of the paper. You can make something very bright like this one. You could make a monochrome card where it's maybe all purples or all greens. You could make something that is all metallic. It's just really neat, and I love die cutting for that reason. Now I'm going to glue down everything with my liquid glue, and that will dry very quickly and I won't have to worry about anything falling off. I wanted to finish off my card by adding a sentiment on the bottom. When I was planning out my card, I wasn't sure if I was going to reach for one of the stickers or one of the die cut pieces, but I decided kind of at the end. So I grabbed a piece of scrap paper and I'm going to lay that across the bottom. There it is. And I'm going to put this little lovely die cut piece on. By the way, all of my cards that I'm making in this video are A2 sized, so they are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So anytime I am adding cardstock going around my card, I will make it at that dimension, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then my pattern paper in the middle is generally 4 by 5 1/4. So it is just taking off 1/4 of an inch of the paper on each side. It is important when you are cutting your pattern paper to be intentional about the design. So if it has a design like the white paper on this card, I would say that that is going up, like it is flowers growing straight up. So I would cut it making sure that those flowers went straight up. For this one, I am going to make a shaker card. If you're interested in the full process of how I make my shaker cards typically, you can go ahead and watch my first video. I won't go into all of the step-by-steps, but this is just another look at how I make them. I love shaker cards, especially for birthday cards or special thank you cards, because it really is something very unique, and I have never seen a shaker card in a store that you can buy. So this is kind of a fun part about handmade cards, that you can't buy it at a store. It's kind of like cooking. You can taste the love in cooking when it's made with love. And when a card is handmade for someone, you can feel the love. I hope that makes sense. And people aren't thinking I'm just insane, but I really do feel that way, especially if you're making a card for one specific person. So give it a shot. I love these little button containers, and I just tucked the big one behind my frame, and the little one is a chipboard design, so I just put it right next to it. It's fun to add embellishments to the outside of shakers like this card to kind of frame the shaker area but not take away anything from it. I'm also putting sequins directly onto the chipboard shaker area because I want it to look like there's pieces flying around, even though they're not flying around all the time. like when it's sitting on a shelf. All right, for this shaker card, I am going to make it full of paper. So I went ahead and took some die cut pieces, and that yellow piece is actually a chipboard frame as well. A couple sequins, and I'll pop it right on. It is inevitable for some of the pieces to get stuck sometimes, but eventually they do come free. I haven't made a full card, a shaker card before. I definitely want to sometime soon, but I just haven't had the correct materials for that. But one day. Again, I love how these stickers just really help make the card look really fun, and they're so easy to use because they're already sticky. That was a very, very fast shaker card. Looking back at it, I think I wish I would have added just a little bit more fun things in the inside, but que sera, sera. Now for this chipboard frame, I'm not making it into a shaker card. It will be a flat piece that's going on my card. And I'm adding some pattern paper behind it and just cutting it out. Like I said about directional paper, I was kind of intentional of the direction that my paper was going on this one. I wanted it facing towards the top part of the hoop. Then I'm adding these really simple stickers to finish off the inside. This sweet bird with the needle and thread is going on the right, and that was a die cut shape. Then I'm going to add this little flower that was a chipboard embellishment, and of course finish it off with some sequins. I will show you all of the cards that I made in this video, and I would like you to tell me, if you have a minute, in the comments which card is your very favorite. And if you've liked any of the cards in the video, please hit the like button on this video. That will tell me that you've liked something, and it also helps YouTube recommend videos like this to you in the future. If you're interested in watching even more videos from me, please subscribe and check out card kit number 3 that is coming soon to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you get to craft very soon. Bye!